episode.
I can't believe I've done this.
And chastise Bierman.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that throughout the episode periodically. We'll take breaks to...
We'll roast him, it's fine.
All right.
Periodic roast.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back.
Ben, would you like to do the intros?
Oh, no.
No?
I was not prepared for this.
Would you like
Wait,
me to?
Ben! That's my coffee mug.
You handed me this one.
Nuh-uh, I handed you this one. I handed you the big one.
Swear to God,
Oh
you
my
handed
God.
me
We were
the
at
big
Music
one.
and Arts, and I handed you this one.
He did hand you the big one.
All right, you know.
Yeah, but then as we were leaving, he came over to my car to give me mine and handed
And you
me
just
this
took
one.
it.
Yeah,
And you just
Bickering.
took it.
Oh
I
my.
put my
There we
mouth
go.
on
You know,
No, I don't want it
was
now. It's got your
taking the right-
disease. It has your disease
I'm
now.
taking
I don't
the
want
right
it.
away from you to introduce him because you both are bickering like little babies.
Okay, so you do it then.
Welcome back
Cock.
to episode 9.
You already
Jesus
said,
Christ.
welcome back.
Well,
Isn't
you
this
didn't-
episode 10?
No, this is
No,
episode
episode
9.
nine.
Well, this is the
How-
10th. This is the 10th
Ben, you
episode,
suck at counting,
but
dude.
the episode 9.
No,
There were
no,
two
no, no.
episode 7s.
Yeah.
Well, that's
All right.
not... Whose fault was that? I wasn't there
I
to
voted
make that
against that.
All
I
right.
wasn't there to make the decision because
It's fine.
You see,
Just
here
go
at,
ahead.
at the Night Owls, we are intellectuals.
Yeah.
Not only do we have one episode 7, but we have
We
a
have
second.
two.
It's a lucky number.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Exactly.
Why didn't you do 3 then? Because
Shut up.
that's whatever. You
We
know,
should have
it's-
done 3 episode 6s.
we're calling this one episode
Yes.
7. Triple
No,
7.
we're not calling this one episode 7.
I'm
This is episode 9. God damn
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Okay.
So, introductions.
Come on.
We've got
Let's
Ben
go.
here.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow. We've got Jonathan. And we have our special guest, Megan.
Hello.
Yay.
So
And-
special. It's what?
We also
4th time you've been on here.
I guess, yeah.
don't have Bierman.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Boo.
Thank God, honestly.
Yeah, right.
Aw.
Fuck that guy.
Got time.
Yeah.
Fuck
He's-
him.
My future
Ginger.
roommate, guys. I have to live with him.
He's a piece of shit.
I'm
Fuck
so
him.
sorry.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna be a lot of
We're
burping,
so mean.
farting, and
Megan came into work the other day and was
anxious
like,
shit.
she was talking about our boss was moving out. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll just go move in with him and you can move in with Bierman. I was like, I'm not stupid enough to move in with Jacob Bierman. And it was the best double burn ever.
If you...
Hey,
if you
he
know him
also
well
has a
enough,
Nick's girlfriend, though, so...
If Ben moved in with Jacob Bierman, that would be the funniest plot for a sitcom ever. Because he would piss you off so much.
I
plot for
would
a
kill
s-
him.
Yeah, I was about to say plot for a sitcom or a homicide.
So Peter, you think you're missing something in the intro? Was something you forgot, maybe?
It is 9:30 p.m.
Thank you, Ben.
I'm a good host.
Yeah,
Well then,
Peter.
take over, bitch.
All right, you want to
Alright,
explain the coffee
cool.
then?
Yeah, so
All right, good transition.
this is actually a coffee that I got for us while I was in Ocean City, Maryland after a work trip.
Mm-hmm.
I got it at a place called the Coffee Beanery. It's actually a Michigan cherry flavored coffee. I was talking to the guy there and I asked him for something a little bit like different that we wouldn't find somewhere else. And he recommended this one. He said it's one of their more popular flavors. And he said they're actually one of the last few places that still flavors the beans as they roast them.
Oh, interesting.
And that's probably why you've got such a strong cherry flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm not gonna lie, I had it before the show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it is strong, crazy.
Is it
Strong cherry or
Strong
strong
cherry.
Okay.
Try
All
some.
right. Wait.
Oh, yeah,
we got a
clink,
clunk.
Clink, clink.
Little clink. Have
Our
fun. Users.
clink last time was more of a clonk.
Yeah, it was a clonk.
There we go.
It
That's
clonked
fine.
in my car on the way home.
All right, boys. And one girl.
I mean, I don't care.
Ooh. Man,
Interesting.
you really took me up on that little sugar, huh?
I'm sorry.
Dear
I
Lord.
thought I... Wow.
He's out here hating it.
I thought I put... Well, you said you didn't need that much. Just in general.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, this is definitely stronger than I was expecting. I thought I put in a
Maybe
lot
I
of
put
cream
in
and
a
sugar.
lot
to
more
this.
than I thought I did when I made
Yeah.
it last time.
This
I
is
don't
very
know.
strong.
45% of me thinks it's gonna be sick. It tastes like medicine.
I like it.
It's better when it's sweeter.
Sure.
Yeah, I added 1 spoon of sugar. I should have added 2.
Yeah,
Like
that's my
3.
bad.
Yeah.
man.
You're so very welcome. All right, so
It's an interesting coffee for sure.
Bierman usually starts. That means Megan's got to start.
Megan.
Is
So,
that?
with the review of the coffee?
No,
Oh,
Megan,
topic.
with the trials.
No, with the coffee.
Jumping jacks now.
So, teeth, guys.
No, Megan.
We were being sarcastic, goddammit.
It's when I initially smelled it smelled kind of smoky, like almost like a campfire. The initial taste is actually not too bad. It does have like a sweeter undertone on it. It's more fruity than I expected.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like the mocha full body flavor that I was expecting, but it's good. I give it. What are we rating out of 5? Like
On a 5 scale.
We always rate out of 5.
3.5 out of 5.
Just because you break the scale every time doesn't mean you need
That's
to
true.
forget.
That's true.
All right, Peter.
Well, I was just realizing this as I'm still have the taste in my mouth. I get more cherry sensation as it sits in my mouth, which is kind of disgusting, but also interesting. Because here, I'll take a sip. You get this really intense mixed
I'm
flavor,
sorry.
and then it's just all caffeine, and then at the very end I feel cherry in the back of my throat, and it's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Like in the upper soft palate.
Yeah. I definitely think I need some more sugar in this.
Yeah.
Because this John's pretty strong, you know. I don't
Very,
know
very
how much
strong.
more I can drink of this and not be sick. But it's,
Yeah.
I think it's actually pretty good. I think it's like a 4.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it. I wish I just added a little bit more sugar because
I
it's a cool thing.
I do like it.
I really want to like it more than I actually do.
Yeah.
Like I keep drinking it and I want it to grow on me, but
And it doesn't.
it's really not.
It does have that bitter bite on it.
Yeah, you said it tastes like medicine, and it kind of does.
All right, I will say that's totally my fault because when I added more sugar and creamer to it before, it was just like a straight cherry. Like,
Okay.
I thought you were going to
'Cause-
say, oh, I'm sorry, I added medicine to it. That's why it tastes like medicine.
yep, surprise!
Okay.
It's yes, laced coffee. Nice.
Good.
But yeah, I take a sip and I taste the medicine part of it, and then I also taste kind of the creamy coffee part of it.
Yeah.
And that mixture is very weird, and it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't mix. It feels like it settles on top of each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's medicine-y. I would say it's more herbal. Like with the fruity cherry, it's an herbal
Like
kind of
homeopathic medicine type
almost
shit?
kind of.
I wouldn't.
But I think
say
we
that,
I gotta,
associate
I gotta
the
test that
medicine.
theory.
I think
Hang on.
I think we associate the cherry with the medicine because I used to take cherry Benadryl as
Yeah.
a child because I was allergic to everything. So
yeah, I definitely had the cherry.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
All right.
I think it's just because it's really warm and cherry-like.
We're getting offered water.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
bless.
yes, please.
What
Big fan of
what
that.
are you rating?
Thank you for
Thanks.
my water.
Thanks, bro.
Thank.
Pass it around.
Oh, bless.
What's our? This is the first coffee we've had to
Yeah.
follow up. Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So water review, I'd say there's at least a 4 out of 10.
Better than
Shout
water.
out
this.
to Evan
4 out of
Malloy's
10?
water reviews.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
I want to give it like a 2 out of 10.
Really?
This is
Yikes.
my rating right now.
Thought we were
I'm
doing 5s, but okay.
2 out
oh,
of 5.
out of 5. Yeah, sorry.
Jesus.
Wow.
Actually, you know what?
Christ.
You know what? I'm gonna go with 3 out of 5.
I went 3.5. You went 4. 3.
I'm gonna go 3. Yeah.
So I mean, without a lot of cream and sugar, this is rough. I think when I had it before, it was like really sweet. Like when you add enough sweetener, like that cherry like stands out as like I think I had a problem with it last time because I wasn't getting enough coffee flavor, and I was like only getting like sipping.
Strong cherry.
So hold
Yeah,
on. I just
strong
realized.
cherry.
So our cups are switched. So you're drinking what I made for myself.
Oh, hold on.
so
let me have a
that's
sip of
definitely
yours.
sweeter.
What? Really? No
Yeah.
fucking way.
So I'm gonna wipe off your disease, your cooties for.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not wiping off.
All right. Wait. Hold on. 3. We gotta clink. Let's see.
Jesus.
That was a mighty tall sip there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't. It's not that different, but I told you to add less than I normally would, just because I thought it was like too sweet
Yeah.
last time. But like, I don't know. You got to find the perfect balance with this, or else it's just not great.
Mhm.
I did like it better last time. Like I finished a cup of it,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5.
All right. Yeah, I think I could definitely taste the creamer more in this one because
Yeah.
I add more creamer than I did sugar. But I think my 3 out of 10 still stands.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
This
God
is our-
damn it.
You're literally killing me.
All right.
Straight up.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, since Jacob's not here, I just wanted to start off by saying fuck Donald Trump.
Sure.
There you go.
Well, there's really nothing wrong with that statement. I cannot find a single incorrect statement.
For those of you guys that don't know, Jacob is in the military, and he.
Oh my God, I can get on my political soapbox.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
Dude,
Oh
let's
my
go.
God.
Oh no.
Elijah Cummings, you're a saint, and fuck that guy. Better to have rats than be one, bitch. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, Bierman is in the military, and he can't talk about political figures in his line of command. And
That means we can't either,
Technically-
because then he feels bad. And
well,
left
yeah,
out.
and then he can't talk.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And technically,
Which is okay, but not fun for him.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, he's not here to defend himself. It's easy.
Poor Bierman.
All right. So who wants to start first?
I can go first.
All right, you
Peter.
go first.
Well, now I can be political. No, I'm kidding. I'll keep the same topic. So I'm on my climate change soapbox again. You know me.
We're right
Oh.
back into it.
Always about that Earth.
I'm about it. Go for it.
You want to hear the saddest thing I heard today?
Oh, God.
That the first ever glacier has been demoted, ever, because due to
Oh.
climate change. It was demoted from a glacier to a chunk of ice
Nice.
in
That's so
Iceland.
Damn.
And they are putting a memorial there.
As we
F.
should.
F.
Yeah.
And-
In the chat.
F in the chat.
And
bro.
Just
one of the
a giant
quotes
F
there
there.
is, these memorials are not for the dead; they're for the living, because we owe it to ourselves to fix the problem.
So
And it's a
what it
reminder.
says.
The guy who's putting an installment in. Hang
Okay.
on, I'm trying to find my fucking story.
Oh.
So sorry.
Well, maybe you guys weren't talking so goddamn much in the group chat.
Yeah, right now I gotta go all the way up there.
Sorry, I like to speak with words.
I mean, it's sad.
I
It's also
definitely
sad
passed
to
it.
think about like how that's affecting the wildlife there. Like we're totally like
There's
fucking up
so
the whole
much.
ecosystem.
Culture.
There's so much that relies on glaciers.
Yeah, dude.
And, like, the native people
There it is.
there also rely heavily on that.
So scientists
Penguins.
memorialized the first glacier lost to climate change in Iceland. So, the demise of Okul. I looked it up.
That's not the full name, though.
Oh, well, it's the first name.
All right, what's the other one, though?
It's
I
Icelandic.
don't know.
It's
Exactly.
long
Oh.
and complicated.
Borgafjord.
Yeah, right.
Close enough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, good job.
I want to see you do better.
Borgafjord.
So
Rough.
this from Rice University anthropologist Simon Howe said, this will be the first monument to a glacier lost to climate change anywhere in the world. This is the first in the world.
Beginning
Iceland
of
has
land.
over 440 glaciers, natural glaciers, that supply fresh water, hydroelectric power, and just overall culture to the entire island. And, losing these glaciers rises seas and changes the environment around which they're in, opens up.
It washes away a lot of, fertile soil that's there. and
Exactly.
It drives it into a salty ocean, which then solidifies on the shores and creates an issue. When there's too much salt in the ocean, you get things like ice fish, which are bizarre and strange creatures, but they don't have blood.
Yeah.
What?
I did a whole research project for my science class for that. That was wild.
What
Really?
are they?
They're called ice fish, and they don't have blood.
How do
Are
they
they
live?
mutated?
Yeah, they
Okay.
like some kind of evolutionary freak of nature that happened millions of years ago, and they don't have blood.
They have organs, though, obviously, right? Okay.
They have
How do they-
scales. And
How do they work?
No idea. No idea. I didn't go that far into it. I just had to look at the biomes.
All right.
That's
Ali-
terrifying.
aliens are real.
Nature
Yeah.
finds a way.
Apparently,
That's also very true, honestly. In all seriousness.
nature finds a way to kill us all.
I haven't read the article, but I keep seeing like this article pop up about like an extinct bird that like re-evolved to come back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I heard about that.
Never clicked on it because I thought it was clickbait. But
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
I know. I
This
keep
seems
meaning
interesting, but
to,
probably it's
check
really
it out
stupid.
to see if it like.
How is that even possible? Like,
you can put genes into other species and have them be.
The mutations
Yeah,
might
but-
resemble what used to be.
but how is it?
I mean,
Is
like-
it the exact same bird? Because that would be like wild. Like I don't.
probably not. There's
Yeah.
probably some minor alterations and
know, but,
mutations
like-
that.
Like the way, like, I'd assume like the way Darwinism works, where like they had the different birds, the islands that like evolved to their like beaks in different ways and became different species or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, you get one of those birds that goes back over to that habitat,
Yeah,
and it re-evolves in the same way to survive there.
in the Galapagos Islands. It's
I mean, that's just
recorded
how
that
I'd
way.
assume that sort of thing would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely recorded that way. If you look at scientists have gone to the Galapagos Islands to study finches for decades since Darwin went there and said, hey, that's a thing.
Burbs.
Birds. Birds aren't weird.
Mini
It's-
burbs.
Birds aren't real. It's the government watching us.
Yeah.
Truly.
I hate to get
So-
political, but what the fuck is a bird?
But anyways,
Um,
so all of Iceland's glacial mass will disappear in the next 200 years. My question to you is, what are the appropriate steps?
I'm not a damn scientist.
Come
yeah, I don't
down
fucking know.
hard
Why are
on
you
major
asking me?
corporations who are
You want to know what it
get
is?
Donald Trump out of office.
An entire global movement and just readiness, like in World War II.
Yeah.
Every country just being on board with one single agreement,
Well,
such
we
as the
can't
Paris
do
Accord.
that when we're pulling out of stuff like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But something even more serious than that. Serious changes.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't think it's a matter of, for people who are still on the skeptic side, I don't think it's a matter of whether or not climate change is happening. I mean, maybe it is for some people, but I think it's a matter of, is it man-made or not? And I think that's what we need to try and get people...
to figure
But
out.
like,
Well,
also,
what's your
they're
take
like
on that?
climate. Like our president is a climate change denier. Like
The head of the EPA is also a climate
they're
denier.
like they do not believe it's happening.
Which go
Right.
fucking figure.
And like
Great.
I'm sure all their little brainwashed minions believe it too. It's
Yeah.
frustrating to say the least.
It is,
But like
when it's hard to believe someone couldn't believe climate change is actually happening, whether you believe it's man-made or not.
Yeah.
You literally see evidence of it.
yeah. But like
You know?
I wonder.
mean-
I do wonder. Sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
talk
finish
over
what
you.
you're saying.
But I do wonder. Like, there's been 5 major extinctions since the world was created. Each one caused at least a 70% wipeout of all species across the planet, and I
Yeah.
wonder if that's what's going to happen in the next 200 years, or in
Yeah.
the next,
Cool.
100
or in
years.
our lifetime. You know.
Well,
let's hope not in our lifetime.
Yeah. I think we'll be okay, but I think
Yeah.
any
That
generation.
still
I
doesn't,
saw
that doesn't make
someone-
me feel any better,
I
though.
saw
No, it
someone say
doesn't.
it's like immoral to have children at this point because you're just throwing them into a fucked world.
Yeah, no,
Right.
just like last episode where I was like, not this generation, not the generation that we spawned, but the next one is fucked.
Oh yeah.
Like, seriously, might starve on Earth.
Back to what you were saying. Even if we like, so say we have a mass agreement like that, what about the places that don't comply with it? Do we like? Does the world come down hard?
Well,
on
not
them?
to be,
Like,
not to look down upon them, but I would assume that the countries that don't subscribe to it would be either not big superpowers in the global economy or movement, but I don't think they will have much of an impact.
yeah,
Right,
but
I don't
be
think
like-
we need
It'll be
a
like
bunch
Sri
of-
Lanka
someone
won't
like-
agree,
But
or
say
like
it's someone like China who is contributing mass.
we don't have to worry about we don't need to worry a thing about China. I've been looking up
You
on
don't
them.
think
They are one thing about an entire control over the government is that everyone can put money behind one exact thing. Their mass transit system is the best in the world. They're all electric. There's these cities that have
But aren't-
robotic cars.
They producing like a ton of smog and stuff. Like
I think that's India. But
No,
I mean,
China's
It's
definitely...
China.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
fucked.
China as well, but there's
because that's where all the.
I mean,
like,
India's part of
factories
it,
and
but
stuff are.
China is definitely
Yeah.
You know.
not helping.
I think what I'm trying to say is the difference where you have one place where everything goes into it. You can put all your focus on one thing,
But
and it gets done fast and gets done well.
what I'm saying is like, how do we handle that sort of situation? Because like, I'm sure no one thought a superpower like the U.S. would pull out of something like.
Yeah,
The
like
Paris-
the climate agreement.
Yeah, but like, here we are.
Yeah.
We may assume, sure, China wouldn't, if in this theoretical situation, but like, what if they do? And like, are there repercussions for that? Because I mean, they have to be if they're contributing so much to it. And do we go to war over climate change?
that,
That would
would
be
be
even-
very counterproductive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Cold War. I mean.
but then how do we stop it?
How do we stop climate change?
Well, how do we stop someone who?
Altercations.
Yeah.
From trying to get all on the same page.
Mhm.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That's
a tough one.
That
If we-
has to
if-
come down to the individual.
if we go to war over climate change, if there's any sort of like altercation, like that's it. That's the end.
Yeah.
If we get into some, because war's not going to be great for the environment, you know?
It never is.
And then we're going to be too busy fighting each other to save the planet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna wreck it harder than we helped it.
And
So-
like I think that would be the worst thing.
Yeah.
How do we stop that? It's a good question. We don't
Stop being a bunch of
How about
idiots.
I don't know, just be defensive. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
We got to play our
eventually
cards
it does
safely.
Eventually, it does come down to the individual. I think.
Is there any country like that would be willing to start war over something like that?
I would hope
Plenty.
not.
But
think
I
it's
could see
more
Brazil
like-
doing it, Argentina, a lot of South American countries, maybe African countries.
Why?
I think they have more investment in the
They're
climate.
agricultural countries. I can understand that.
Yeah, especially with Africa being a lot of money being invested in Africa. They want to stay on top.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of unrest in Africa.
Well, are you talking about trying to help with the
They'd be
climate
going
change?
to war to stop someone.
To stop
someone
from
from not joining? Yeah, no, I would see that because they're very environmentally aware of what's going on.
Okay, I thought we were talking about the opposite.
No.
Okay.
Like, do we think anyone would be so
Be-
like, locked into their ways that they are ready
Yeah.
to?
A lot of South American powers and African powers. Egypt, most likely. South Africa.
In
I
places
don't
that
know.
rely on agriculture.
I mean, I don't know
and
much.
farming.
I'm not.
Yeah, well, also that places that are at risk,
Mhm.
like South
Yeah.
Africa,
Most, yeah.
Egypt.
You have the most delicate
Ecosystems.
ecosystems.
Yeah.
The rainforests in South America are my top priority, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know about you, but I'm kind of my top priority. Like, I don't want to die. You
Yeah.
know, my grandchildren are my top priority.
I mean, grand scheme of things, where individual life is small, the rainforest isn't.
Yeah,
Isn't
but
that
also
every
humans
planet?
are unique, and I think that
We're
It's the
not
ability
as
to
unique as we
see
pretend
past-
to be.
I mean,
our own
compared
lives.
to all the life that we found in the universe, we're pretty damn unique.
That's true.
And I think there's a certain. I think we should be. I think we should
it's
protect
time
ourselves in some way. You know.
to leave the
Well, then we
planet.
need to save the planet to protect ourselves.
We
All right,
should
hear
just
me out.
leave.
Hear
Elon
me out.
Musk, take
Hear me
us
out.
to Mars.
Aliens.
Yeah.
We're going back to
We
last week.
take
This
Earth-
is literally both of last week's conversations over again.
We take Earth and push it somewhere else.
If you push it somewhere else, it'll just heat up. You know.
Or
It's
cool
really
down.
fucked.
Well-
we move it a few inches back to stop the heating.
Exactly,
I
dude.
see
We're
what you
genius.
did there.
I don't remember exactly, but it's like a few thousand miles away, which is like nothing in space.
Mhm.
But like a few thousand miles away, we'd be like a completely dead planet. So it doesn't. We're really
Isn't
in
that
that.
just lovely to think about?
Yeah,
yes,
if we're like
existential.
another
This like
another
an
1,000
existential
miles
episode.
past the moon, where it is, like we cross
Mhm.
the moon 1,000 miles more, everything would be ice,
Yeah.
and we'd be fucked. Because Mars is
Wild.
completely ice,
Mhm.
more or less,
Um,
ice and rock, hard. rock.
so there's been talks about like hypothetically terraforming Mars, and to
Yeah.
do that would take like thousands of years.
You'd have to make a
But it's
biodome because
Mhm.
you'd have to put oxygen
Yeah.
in there somehow.
but I mean theoretically, I believe it's theoretically possible.
Yeah.
So let's say we're 1,000 years in the future and Mars has been terraformed. Would you guys go live on Mars?
Heck yes.
If I was alive, yeah.
Yeah.
100% yes.
Yeah.
I'd
I'd
buy
go.
a summer home in Mars. I don't know about live there.
Dude, think
100%
about how
yes.
fucking cool it would be if you could say that though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what are you doing for the summer after school? Oh, you know, I'm just going to visit my family on Mars, on goddamn fucking Mars.
Dude, new life, new me. I'm going to Mars.
Yeah.
Start
over, fresh
completely
start.
over. I'm
That's the
gonna start out as a
campaign. The
farmer.
campaign for going to Mars is it's a fresh start.
There you go.
Yeah, my bucket list is
I'll be my D&D
Is going to
character on
space.
Mars.
that's one of the things on my bucket list. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but
I'll
god
do
damn it, I'm gonna try and go to
They've
space.
started-
If you got
Dude,
enough money, you can
Seriously, they
start
have
anything.
actually started space tourism.
Yeah.
They haven't started it
I won't
yet,
do
but
that.
they're like,
It's like a
Starting.
year away.
oh really?
Yeah,
I've heard
there's
it's
already been
like
one
pretty
artist, Chinese artist, I think, that flew himself up there. Yeah.
There's one thing I
Wow.
won't do. That's recent. Like 1,000 years in the future? Sure. Today? No. There's too much risk of being lost in space.
Oh no, I do it now.
Nope.
I would do it. Fuck yeah.
I have
I
my-
would.
Do it
If
before the
I
Earth
were
dies
to
and looks
die,
like shit.
you know, I'm okay with dying in space. To be honest,
I-
like if I were to die anywhere of my choosing, I'd be like, take me to fucking space.
I
And
had a
just
nightmare
jettison
once.
me out. Nice.
I had a nightmare.
I mean, if there was a gun to my head
and I
got
woke
to
up in
choose
a
how would I
panic,
die.
I woke up in a panic
yeah.
sweat because I got lost in space in my dream, and it was just the worst dream I've ever had.
I'm sure it's. Yeah.
So now you got a
If I really thought
Now I
about
got
it, it'd be
phobia.
terrifying, but
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want to think about it because I like it right now.
Sure.
And I want to keep enjoying the thought of being in space.
Being in space is cool. Getting lost in space is not so cool.
Yeah.
Not about that. Sorry.
I'll just take a
wait.
nap.
I would be honored
I'll wait.
to explode through the vacuum of space. My blood would boil.
Who wants
I'd
to
be
go
like,
next?
damn, yes.
Fucking A, good.
I can go next.
Bucket list.
All right.
Damn.
Skin is cracking with
Okay.
ice. Damn,
Hold on,
yes,
let me
fun.
pull up my article real quick.
Precisely what I wanted.
Yes. Preserve me in the vacuum of space.
No, but did you hear Larry Hogan's response? To
About
that
what?
fucking guy.
The
What a-
Baltimore thing.
Yeah.
What
He was
say?
like, while something, I can't remember. He's in the middle. It's neutral. It's a getting in with wasting your time with talking to someone is not a good reflection of Baltimore. It won't get you anywhere, basically.
What was this in response to?
Trump calling this district and Baltimore in general a place that no one would want to move to, which,
It's true.
I don't blame
He
him.
basically
Somewhat-
said we
somewhat-
shouldn't be
Yeah.
wasting our resources on it.
right, well,
Nice.
Larry Hogan
Oof.
took a $990 million deal to help all of our water mains and got rid of it, so the money went back to Washington. So,
Cool.
he's
That's cool, I guess.
and he's staying so neutral like a lot of these Republicans that don't stand up to him. And Pete Buttigieg on the debate yesterday, he was talking along the lines saying, these Republicans that aren't standing up to him won't be remembered for being a Republican. They'll be remembered for not standing up to a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was like, damn, that's true. That's exactly what's right. Because
That's
Trump went 200...
dictator. I don't know if I'd
2
say
years and
dictator.
148 days to go
he wants
from-
to be one. I'm
took
sorry.
2 years and
know about that
149
one,
days for Trump to go from, oh, he won't round anybody up, oh, to, we can't call them concentration camps because they're not as bad as Auschwitz.
Yeah.
On a lighter
All right.
subject, Jonathan.
Jonathan, go ahead. Sorry, dude.
Who wants a Dungeons and Dragons movie that doesn't suck?
Me.
There's already one.
Yeah, there was one that came out in like 2000, and it's got like a 3 out of 10 on IG, or not IGN, IMDb.
What?
Yeah.
What is this movie?
So
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what movie it is. Is it called Dungeons and Dragons?
yeah, so from the
Okay.
2000s, there was a movie called Dungeons and Dragons. I guess it was loosely based off of Dungeons and Dragons lore.
You know what would be fucking awesome?
What?
If they did it like Bandersnatch.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I've
Dungeons
not
and
watched
Dragons
that.
are all about like your free will.
Interactive,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, is Bandersnatch that interactive show on Netflix? or
Yeah,
something?
it's the
I've
Black
never
Mirror
been
movie.
Black
Oh, okay.
Mirror,
I
yeah.
haven't
If
watched
they
it.
did it like Bandersnatch, that would be perfect.
So, let me read
Go
my
ahead.
article. real
How would
quick.
you do
Okay.
that though in a movie theater?
All right, so there's this article
Directing that for
from the
Hollywood
Hollywood Reporter
Bandersnatch.
I guess.
called "The Game Night Duo," and talks to direct Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Hell yeah.
So Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, they are the guys that directed the movie Game Night, which I have not seen, but
Oh,
I think I've
I've
heard.
seen it.
Is it good?
It's really fucking funny.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
The bits I've seen are hilarious.
Well, those guys are set to direct a Dungeons and Dragons movie, or they're in talks to direct a Dungeons and Dragons movie. It says that the movie since 2015, it's been the film rights have been in a legal battle to like who owns it. Like, is it Hasbro? Is it someone else?
Mm-hmm.
But it's been in like this legal limbo for years now.
Okay.
And now it looks like it's finally it says the rights eventually left Warner's for Paramount, which has the production studio and distribution deal with Hasbro. So looks like it's finally gonna happen. So we got these two comedy directors doing a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
It's gonna be so good.
What are you guys' thoughts?
I'm so excited.
I dig it.
I want an elf bard that looks like David Bowie. That's all that I ask for. I want an 80s glam rock elf bard.
Yeah,
That's all
I
I
hope
want.
they take. I hope that this turns out the way that Taika Waititi did Thor Ragnarok, where it's like this isn't action movie, but it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's really what Dungeons and Dragons feels like when you're playing.
So
it.
maybe
Yeah.
they take it from
Yeah.
like what if
Cheese
they
wheel.
dude, what if they followed the life of a DM
Cheese Wheel is.
What if they followed a DM creating a campaign?
That'd be so good.
Well, what
And
I'm
then
thinking,
they could do some animation and
cut
have
it-
him pulling things to life.
yeah,
what
like
if-
cut it to make it look
And
like.
then they have
That'd be so cool.
you could do a suit and you could be inside the world.
Yes.
Oh man.
right.
That'd be
I want Dwayne the Rock Johnson as an orc.
So, well,
dope. Yes.
well, what I was actually gonna bring up was, what if they did something kind of like they did with Jumanji, where
Where they get like brought into the game.
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
That's
Good.
that's what I'm alluding to. That's the movie.
yeah. I don't know what game night was about, but I'm assuming it was about like game,
It was
Playing,
these,
like, card
so
games
it
and
was
shit?
this block
like a
of-
game night. Maybe?
this cul-de-sac, and it
Oh.
was this family that always hosted like a game night, a very serious game night.
Yeah.
And we're always like trivia nerds. They got married because they were trivia nerds, whatever. And they
Okay.
have these friends that they made along the way, and they do these really intense game nights. And so one of them, this brother comes in, and he's better than the other brother.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Here, I'll host game night this time." And he hosts this like murder mystery type thing, but these people actually come in and try to fucking kill him
Oh,
because he's like due for embezzlement and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Interesting.
it's just a back and forth, like what's real, what isn't.
so
Okay.
so I feel like that
it's really funny.
they could be good fitting directors for something like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good at writing.
The only thing I have a problem with potentially is, like we were kind of talking, like Dungeons and Dragons is all about what you want to do, and it's about the freedom, and movies are like you're watching something that's already been filmed.
Yeah.
You can't directly
Yeah.
affect the story.
I mean, do you think they'll base it off of a certain campaign, like that's out?
I would find it interesting if they just showed like a contingent line of shenanigans.
Like a bunch of short.
Not
Part.
short, like maybe short like little bits and just wild stuff that can happen in D&D.
Yeah.
Like you getting a rat pet. Like that was adorable. Or like when we were playing D&D and we all took a like group shower.
Oh yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
in the game.
What?
You've missed a lot since you stopped playing with us, dude.
It
That's
would be like
Well, I
not a
think
group
the-
shower would not, but you
What
know
kind
what I
of
mean?
D&D
I feel like
movie we're
Icarus would not be
talking
down
about
with
here? No, but I think those.
Totally platonic. It was
I
fine.
think
Icarus
those-
is not with that shit. No
I
way.
think
Well,
those.
he's dead.
Oh,
So
I know.
He's not with
He's
anything.
in a vacuum of space.
I think those moments work best when you have a connection to those characters, and
Yeah.
and I think they're
yeah.
funnier when you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that I feel like it would work better if we you could still have those moments, but if it was part of a story,
Yeah.
I think it
Well,
would
I
work
think
best.
that would work better too if like you saw it the way they were sort of talking, where it's like there's two different things going on at once. Like you have the people playing the game, and you can have like some conversations they're having outside of the game, but then it jumps to like them in the game. You know what I mean?
Like I've seen
Right. Yeah.
I've seen Dungeons and
You see
Dragons
them-
shows where they do that.
Yeah, you see
Um,
them making the choices and reacting and laughing, or
There was a
arguing.
show I used to watch with a friend like all the time. It wasn't called Disenchantment. It was called something else, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But it was an animated show with a Dungeons and Dragons group, and then they animated what they were doing in the show.
is that the one with the guy from Rick and Morty?
Yes.
Oh, I always wanted to watch that.
Yeah. It's that guy, and it's so funny. Dan
Yeah.
Harmon is so funny.
Oh yeah. That's on YouTube Red though.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I thought it. Well, I used to watch
I
it with a
still got-
friend.
I get ads for free trials to that all the time. I can check that out. Should look at that.
Do it. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
So the original Dungeons and Dragons movie is just called Dungeons and Dragons, and it's got a 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb. And it says the description here says the Profian, a tyrant, attempts to overthrow a peaceful kingdom ruled by a tough empress. So I don't know if that's based on any sort of campaign.
None that I know.
It would have probably been out before 5e was out.
Yeah.
Probably because it was in
most
2000.
definitely.
But it stars it has Jeremy Irons in it,
Oh, hell yeah.
and
Love
I
Jeremy.
don't really recognize anybody else in here.
Oh, your phone didn't ring.
Yeah.
Nobody I know. I thought maybe there would be like an extra name or something. But
No. But yeah, this one probably won't be out like
For another year or two.
Well, more than that because it's not even in production yet.
At least
Oh,
5
okay.
years.
Not even
I give it
pre-production
5
yet,
years.
right?
Yeah, they're just
They haven't
well, it's
even,
like
confirmed that
pre-production.
it's like really.
Yeah, they're just in talks.
Yeah.
So anything could change at this point. The movie could
Yeah.
still be canceled.
Yeah.
But if it were to happen, I think I would want to see it as like a, these people either get transported into the game, and it's kind of like a fish out of water,
Like
like group
Jumanji
story.
style.
Oh yeah, almost. Or they could be like playing the game, and then we see it from their character's perspective.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think that's
that'd
my
be really
ideal.
fucking
Is
cool.
like you
Yeah.
get two perspectives.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot more.
And
You could
then
do a
I
lot
think
more
that could
with
lead
that.
to some funny like cutaways.
Yeah, and even like serious moments.
Yeah.
So
I just want to see a player cry. That's all I want.
good, Megan. Glad your sadist is coming out.
So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. Anyone else have anything to add?
I think I said everything.
All right.
What am I saying on that?
If you haven't played D&D, fucking play D&D. It's fun as hell.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, do it.
So
Make
What
it
do you
guilty
want to?
pleasure.
What do you want to describe Cheese Wheel?
Oh, so we
Yeah.
were
Who's
playing
Cheese Wheel,
D&D last night, and my character is kind of serious, but kind of not. He's, I don't know. I try to be the party face, and I screw it up all the time.
Yes,
I should
you
be the
do.
party face.
Yes,
Like,
I
let's
should.
be
You
real.
really should.
Balthazar should
You're
be
on
the
your
Me-
phone all the damn time.
Listen, I have ADD,
So do I.
and
God
it's
damn it.
hard for me to focus.
Nonetheless, we found a shop that was selling pets, and I befriended a giant rat and named him Cheese Wheel.
It was so good.
And then we
so
were at
pure.
dinner, and he was making him do tricks. And my character, who is a stupid, dumbass barbarian, was cheerily clapping and
All the
like,
while-
do more.
All the while I was talking to a dude, I was describing us as a highly skilled and talented team of killers, and we look over to the rest of
As
my
we-
team, and they're going,
as we-
"Ah, do it again, Cheese
I was
Wheel,
looking
do it
at
My
a
again."
giant
mouse
rat
do
is
some
rolling
fucking
over.
tricks.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Is this your team?
Yeah.
They're my
Yeah.
mess.
They're my mess. I love them.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons is fun. You can do a lot of wacky stuff, and
It's as fun as you make it, really.
Yeah. It really is. And
It's
you
hard
have
to grasp that you have free will.
Yeah.
you got it. You
That's
got
what I had trouble with.
I feel
Once
like
I
there's.
realized I had it, I enjoyed it more.
Yeah, you can. I feel like there's like
Literally
a
do
shell
anything.
that you got to break through when playing
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, like this awkward kind of beginning, like when you're first starting.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first started, like our DM, who was actually ironically he was Bierman. Our DM was like, "All right, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, what can I do? What are my
Yeah,
options?"
You can do anything.
And then Bierman's like, well, you can do anything. And then my dumbass was like, all right, well, I want to ride away on a motorcycle. Well, and he was like, all right, well, it's a medieval time.
Reason.
Yeah. Do you guys
There's
remember
some laws. And
I remember
rules.
that.
that? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good fucking times.
So
Do
the
you wanna
next,
Teeth or Mario Lopez?
Mario Lopez, get it over with.
Alright.
Oh.
Get
Or do
this
we wanna-
serious.
do we want to talk about the teeth first and then?
Well,
go-
let's
Let's do the teeth first.
Are you sure?
You wanna
Because we
get
could.
that?
And then we'll end on the discourse.
Okay.
Well,
Mine's kind of
okay,
a
I
silly,
guess.
kind of somewhat heartwarming story.
Oh no, it's terrible.
hard?
and I
It
hate
It does
every
have a little
second
bit of a
it.
trigger warning on it, though.
it has a.
What
it's
trigger?
Wait,
What
how?
kind
What
of
part of
trigger?
this is heartwarming?
And
The
which part
kid's
is
fine now.
and
The
which
kid's
part
fine.
is trigger?
I
It's
was
fine.
Fucking
kid
hope
had-
he is.
It's we can talk
Describe
about
the
it now.
situation.
All right, yeah, just go ahead.
My article,
And I'm not
I found an
listening.
article. I'm so sorry, Ben. This makes you so uncomfortable. So
Oh man.
this article really just kind of caught me like at work, and I had to stop for a second. So the article begins with 526 teeth removed from Chennai boy's mouth.
Holy fuck.
Chennai?
It's a place in India.
Okay.
The swollen right cheek of a 7-year-old Ravindranath looked like symptoms of a decayed tooth to his parents. But tucked inside the tiny lower jaw were 526 teeth that dentists had to remove surgically.
All individually?
Yep.
Wait, how were they hiding in his fucking... How did they not see that?
Right?
So-
It's just like
So the teeth were different sizes that vary between 0.1 millimeters to 15 millimeters. The college
God.
head of maxillofacial pathologist Dr. Pratibha Ramani, they said, they looked like pearls in an oyster. Even the smallest piece had a crown, root, and enamel coating it like a tooth.
Wow.
that's
Like,
crazy.
The
dude.
surgery, The doctor said at Savitha Dental College said that it had taken only a few minutes for them to convince the boy's parents that a surgery was necessary. But doctors and postgraduate students had to speak to the boy for several hours before he agreed to cooperate. Once he agreed, dentists removed the abnormal teeth in a surgery that lasted nearly 5 hours.
Jesus.
Like,
Goddamn.
how this kid's 7
So-
and he'd apparently been dealing with it since he was 3.
So I would imagine he'd be pretty uncomfortable.
So I get.
Yeah.
Would you say 3 is when you start getting teeth? But I'm not.
yeah, how did that
2
happen?
2 or 3.
Like, I nanny a kid and he started getting his like teeny tiny baby teeth at like almost a year.
Does it say like when he started getting his 300
Could
other
it be
teeth?
like nerve endings were there and then created? I don't know. I just don't know enough about
They
Yeah.
said, okay, so
the bio,
hold on.
the functionality of this.
What what website are you reading from?
I am reading from timesofindia.com.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
There are pictures
Nice.
that won't load because I'm underground apparently.
Yeah.
Um,
We probably don't want to see him anyway.
Oh no, we connected to the Wi-Fi last time, but yeah, we don't definitely
It's
don't want to
fine,
see
it's
those
fine.
photos anyway.
Yeah,
Yes,
really
that's
wanna see
terrible.
probably don't. Yeah, it's probably gross.
Send the
Yeah,
link.
so
to Ben.
I
You
thought-
put it in
so
the
while
group
you're
chat
looking,
and we'll
I-
dare if we want to.
So I thought I had a lot of teeth before. So I had my wisdom teeth removed,
Okay.
and I didn't have 2. I didn't have 4. I had 6 wisdom teeth,
Oh,
Really?
see, I
Yeah.
only have 4.
and that we just looked this up. I don't
2
remember.
at the top and 2 at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, so 6 in total.
Jesus.
Wait, no, that's 8.
That's
2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I
2
can count.
sets or 2.
Yeah, I had 2 at the top, on either side, and then 2 at the bottom.
Now, see,
Right,
I just
8.
have 1 on
So
the
you
other
had
side.
8 wisdom teeth?
Yeah.
Holy
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, John, how big is your fucking mouth? Don't look at me.
big enough.
Because
What
you
is
want
that
it, baby.
insinuating?
What are
I
you
gotta
doing?
leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's yeah. So that's something that's called hyperdontia, and so I was doing a little research, and you said that what this kid had was something totally different.
It's different.
Yeah.
And I just saw it. It's called compound
I need to-
composite.
Confirm how many teeth I had because I don't remember it.
It's fine. It's called compound composite odontoma. It's a rare condition. It doesn't say how rare, but I assume
Probably pretty rare.
imaginably
Considering
1 in 5
considerably
million.
rare. I don't think very many people have this condition. Or at least not to the severity that this kid had. Because it does say when he was 3, his parents noticed swelling in his right cheek and
Yeah.
just assumed that it was because he was a child and just bit the inside of his mouth.
Right.
Because sometimes kids are clumsy and they don't know how their bodies work.
Yeah, so I can't even imagine what kind of pain he was in after that surgery, or how uncomfortable he was.
Is even before. Like, if you have to imagine
Yeah.
Imagine living
swelling.
with it.
But
Yeah.
I'm
and not
just.
saying a word.
I
But
know.
like, I remember after my surgery, my face was so swollen for like a week.
When
And
did
that's
you
a-
get your wisdom teeth out?
It was last summer. It was like
I have to
over
get
a
one.
week that my
Yeah.
face was still like my face was I looked like fucking Buzz Lightyear, swear to God. And my mouth was so sore. It
I need
was.
pictures.
I have
right?
I have pictures.
Oh,
I'll show you
man.
after the podcast.
See, I have to get my
Um,
wisdom teeth out at some point. I'm
but-
thrilled.
But
They keep telling me I have to. I refuse.
How many do you have?
4, I think.
I have
Yeah.
4
Well,
or
I think
2.
they
see, I got
Also-
mine removed because mine like on the very end they were like almost 90 degrees, and so they were like
Yeah.
pushing my teeth in
Yeah.
and kind of like
I get headaches. 'cause
Everything-
Mine are growing
yeah.
forward.
yeah.
It's
So
also
Not fun.
$500 to get them removed, and
wow.
that's a lot of money I don't have. So
But you're probably still on your parents' like health insurance.
even with the insurance, it's $500.
That's
I
true.
have looked.
That's true.
yeah.
Didn't
Imagine.
consider that.
But yeah,
Sorry.
like after my surgery, I was so uncomfortable for a long time, and like I can't even imagine what this kid went through with 500 or was it 500 or 300?
526 teeth.
Jesus Christ, I can't even fathom what that would feel like.
There was a
dude.
picture that had loaded up earlier of
I
them, all of them
do
like,
not want to see.
I don't
rounded
care.
up on a table,
I
and they
don't
were just
care.
like the doctors
Don't
kept playing with them
care.
and put them in like little formations and
Still
stuff.
don't care.
That's
Why would you wanna
disgusting.
do that?
That's so gross.
I
The
don't
tooth fairy is gonna have a fucking
care.
field day with
I
this kid.
know.
Goddamn.
India's,
Don't care.
India's
Shut the
finest.
fuck up.
Still don't care.
Still don't care. What'd you say? What'd you say? What? I don't care.
So that's
no.
my article. That's fucking weird. I'm
really
sorry
gross.
that this poor kid went through this.
But you said he's all right now,
He said
right?
he's fine now.
How long ago did this happen?
Probably a few months ago or so.
Nah, probably, yeah, not that long ago.
It was on Twitter Moments today, so I'd imagine like
Yeah,
Oh, was
like
it?
recent.
yeah.
Well,
Who knows?
what you're talking about was also on Twitter Moments, and that happened months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it just got discovered today.
Oh,
For whatever reason, yeah.
they said they may have found out
Fucked
why
up
it
things
happened.
travel slowly a bit, so.
As of now, chance of reoccurrence is low, but doctors haven't been able to point out the exact cause. Biopsy results
Reoccurrence,
showed that it was just abnormal
Imagine
growth.
getting
There could be strong
532
genetic
teeth
connect.
removed and then them all coming out.
Pretty
I would
fucking.
hate that.
Yeah, that
I
would be.
see you. That's fucked.
Jeez.
Biopsy showed.
Oh no, there's the picture.
There it is.
Oh, gross.
Yep.
That's
Jesus.
fucking gross.
Yep, those are all the teeth.
Jamie, the guy who owns the studio we're in, just showed us a picture of all the fucking teeth in this formation, and now I want to go to bed.
No,
That's what. No, I don't. 'Cause- yeah.
You're gonna get nightmares of your teeth
They
falling
look
out of
like
your mouth.
that's
Goddamn.
fucked.
Could you just imagine though if it wasn't like tucked back there, if it was just like lines of them, just like
Like a shark.
yeah, like that's what
I
I
just
pictured
imagine
when
like
I
this
first
child just opening up his
saw that.
mouth
Just-
like a
yeah,
fucking like
that's-
hobbit, like just
yeah, dude. When you
and teeth.
when I
Like
like
a
saw that
Demogorgon.
Twitter
Like a
moment, that
Demogorgon.
I did
Fucking
not click.
Pennywise.
That's all I could think of.
Yeah, I don't. Gross.
But they were
I-
saying
That's
biopsy results showed that it was just abnormal growth. There could be strong genetic connect, but we
Abnormal
cannot rule
is-
environmental
putting it
factors such
lightly.
as radiation from mobile towers.
what? What in the fuck?
And for an ongoing study, the college screened more than 250 people living close to mobile towers. At least 10% of the people had micronuclei changes in their cells. This change can cause controlled or uncontrolled multiplication of cells and diseases, said Dr.
Wow.
Romani. We may have to do a larger study to prove the link between mobile towers and micronucleal changes, she said. Hospital founder and chancellor N.M. Virayan said the surgery had been done free of cost. So that's good
Oh,
to know.
nice.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Wouldn't happen here.
how kind. So
All right. Well, that's
That's-
fucking gross.
My mouth hurts now.
on to a new topic.
Should I have said trigger warning before I talked about that?
Nah,
No.
fuck trigger
It's
warnings.
fine. Body horror, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I kind of.
all right.
Now
So
to get on.
in a relatively recent interview, Mario Lopez said that he thinks it's dangerous for parents to reinforce transgender ideas in their young children.
I have thoughts about this.
Or for lack of a better term, let them decide.
Well,
Essentially.
In a way, did you listen to what he was saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
see the
I
context
mean,
here
we're
is
talking about
important,
very young kids,
Right,
Is what
yeah.
he was talking
And that's-
about.
though. I just want to point out that's not what any of the articles said.
Yeah.
I feel like all the articles were just trying to make Mario Lopez look bad.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I'm in a weird
In between on it.
place on how to feel about this.
I'm very strongly one place, but I'd like to hear the in-between places first.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
that's
go-
not fair, but
go,
okay.
Go for it.
First of all, let me get it out. I agree. There you go. I agree with Mario Lopez.
Okay.
I think it is a dangerous slope, and a slippery one. Because think about yourself 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be able to recognize or relate to that person as much as you do now?
I'd want to be that person more than I am now, to be honest.
I'm glad I'm
Okay.
not that person.
Yeah, me too.
So we have a majority rules of saying we would not want to be that person because we're probably wiser, older, nicer, whatever, what have you. And that just proves the point that, at the core of it, these kids aren't prepared to understand what that straight decision, yes, no,
Especially-
I'm this, I'm that.
Especially a 3-year-old kid.
Well, even then, but maybe 5 or 6, they have some
Yeah,
understanding
of
of the
course.
world, but even then, I just don't think they're prepared to tackle
Not at
something
all.
so complex. And maybe it's valid. I'm not questioning the validity of the child's feelings,
Yeah.
but I am questioning the ability for them to
Decide.
go through that complex decision and understand that you have to live with it for the rest of your life.
Right.
To a point, I agree, but mostly disagree with you.
Okay.
And I think that's just on the other. I'm on the other side. He's in the middle. You're on one end. I think kids should be allowed to explore that. I think kids, so many people worry about oh, what are my kids seeing on TV? They shouldn't see gay on TV. It's gonna make them gay.
Yeah, but these
So-
kids are three. Does anybody remember the actress that Candace Owens brought up in the interview? Because she was like, she gave this actress as an example, and that's why they got on the 3-year-old thing.
I forget who, but
It's
I
some
know who you're
actress that she was bathing her son, and her son like looked up at her and said, "Mommy, I'm a boy." And then she was like, "All right, you're a boy now," and she's raising him as a guy when he's a 3-year-old, or when she's a 3-year-old girl. I don't know, something like that.
That's.
But they're 3-year-olds. They don't have the mental capacity to understand whether they're a guy or a girl. Plus, there's some crazy shit that comes out of children's mouths.
Of course, and I'm not saying you should go along with all of it.
Right.
I
don't
am a
think
dinosaur. All right, here's your raw meat.
I don't think you should be taking everything the kids say at face value.
I think you should sit them down and make sure they understand.
But
what
a
they're
3-year-old
saying.
isn't gonna understand though.
A 3-year-old understands a lot, surprisingly.
No offense, but I don't think we can blanket the statement as 3-year-olds. I think we need to blanket it as younger children.
Well, that was the example that they were talking about.
Yeah,
but younger children.
I think that's an outlier to the entire situation. I really think this is more directed at kids that are 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 10. Not yet 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think past 10. It's a little different. It's
there's a little more cognizance there.
But like before that, up in through pre-K, elementary, early elementary school, kids deciding whether or not they want to.
I mean, even
have
then,
no gender identity. They want to dress
A certain way.
I remember I remember as a kid when I was in elementary school. I remember I used to say that I wanted to be a girl like all the time, and I remember like if my parents decided, all right, well, you can be a girl, and they raised me as a girl, I would be, my mental state would be fucked. Just imagine someone going through that in something like middle school where they're going through hormonal changes. They'll be even more confused than they already are. I don't think it's fair to do that to them.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, it's hard. None of us are in any way close
Qualified.
to parents.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But
we do have.
I definitely think in your
feelings
children you
about it.
should foster creativity and freedom.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, of course.
You should encourage their ideas. But you should let them wear the clothes they want to wear, play with the toys they want to play with.
I agree with that.
But where do you draw the line? And
defining your gender identity or your sexuality. Well, sexuality is different, but
because I mean,
what I mean.
What happens when the kid wears those clothes to school and everyone's
Right, they're gonna-
calling him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to be prepared for the world, the society. Being in that community
Kids
is
can't be
already
prepared
going.
for
You're
that.
going to be in a place where you're going
That's
to
not
get
fair.
degraded.
That's not fair to
Yeah.
ask kids to be prepared for something like that.
When this is going to be a little bit more close to home, but when I was going through my entire coming out and all that shit, when I was telling my dad, he was always like, I just don't want you to cut yourself off from something that you don't have any experience with. You can't know you don't want something if you haven't had it yet.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You can't say, I only want my favorite's mint chocolate chip, and then 5 years later you try strawberry and like strawberry's my favorite. You can't for that way if you want to use that kind of analogy. You just can't decide something definite for the rest of your life when the rest of your life hasn't happened.
Yeah. But I mean, it's hard because you want these kids to grow up feeling
Empowered.
Yeah,
and themselves.
Yeah. And
like, more importantly.
Yeah, and you don't want them to have to feel like they have to keep that sort of thing or that they're wrong once they get old enough to comprehend that sort of thing.
Right, of course.
But
I mean, yeah.
How do you foster that?
Well, if they ask questions, then I'd say you should answer them honestly in a neutral position.
Yeah.
And if a 5-year-old asks about it, you can explain to them what it is. And if they say that they want to turn into a girl, you can say, that's fine, but when you're older, because you don't understand. Like, I'm not trying to put kids down, but also
stupid ass kid.
They literally they don't. I mean,
Stupid
come on,
kids
it's
are
a
making me look
55-year-old
bad.
kid.
Yeah.
Just
It's such a fine
because
line.
I guess
I don't think it is.
because I
disagree.
nanny a kid.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of understand. I don't understand, but I know that they understand more than
You think they do?
Yeah, we think they do. I think they genuinely have a better grasp of the world than we believe they do.
I can agree with that, but I also want to ask, like, do you think that they could understand something like that?
I don't think there's that much to understand.
Well, I think there's a lot of emotional and mental struggle that goes into.
I think there's a lot of unintended consequences. Well, not consequences. I don't want to take consequences in the negative connotation. I want to take consequences as a neutral thing. You know, if you define yourself and find yourself to be transgender and you need to go through hormone therapy, all these surgeries, you have to be prepared for how hard it's going to be going through that. As rewarding as it's going to be when you are finished, it's going to be so hard because you're going to get flack from everybody. I mean, being gay or anything is not easy.
I think the thing is, like, one of the things that I am agreeing with you on is that hormone therapy shouldn't start until puberty, like after puberty starts.
Exactly.
You gotta be like
and nothing,
18,
no surgeries should happen until they're 18.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to know what you need, you need to know this for sure.
If a 5-year-old says, "Mommy, I want to be a girl," and they're a little boy, that's fine.
Testosterone shot.
That should not happen. That should not be.
Well, first
a
of all,
thing.
that's just fucked. I don't think that's allowed legally.
I don't think that that's something that should happen. I think maybe that there should be some sort of exploration and some sort of, sit down and talk about this, like we kind of deal. But I don't. Nothing like medical should happen until.
Yeah.
They're more along the lines of adults.
There was this one. I should have done research on it before the episode, but
Stupid.
I know, I'm sorry. But there's this one. Years ago, there was this one kid who was born a male, I believe. But this was before all like the research laws, like where like people could just like do experiments on dogs and shit. Now that would be illegal. But this was before all that.
Okay.
So these doctors decided that they should raise this kid as he was born male, but they should raise him as female. And so the parents agreed, and they would periodically check up on him and study him. And he grew up depressed and suicidal. Because there are literal differences between men and women. There are actual physical and mental differences between the two. And when you raise a guy as a girl, you're gonna get confused, and
there's conflicting variables there.
And I really don't think it's fair to raise a kid in that sort of state. I'm not saying that they shouldn't make those decisions. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be allowed to make those decisions, but not from a young age. They should, and I don't think I can't obviously speak for anyone, but from assumptions, I feel like there probably won't be a moment where someone that wants to transition is 100% sure that they want to transition. So, but I do.
That's a controversial statement.
Is it?
Yeah, I would say.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty controversial.
I would
say
sorry.
that there's probably people who are 100% sure they want to transition.
Yeah, I have.
I would hope everyone who transitioned is 100% sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
That's
just
kind of the
saying,
goal.
Like, if I
Yeah.
was in their shoes, there'd always be that little self-doubt.
I mean, I guess
in my
there's
mind.
always second guessings and final
Because
thoughts.
it's a big commitment. Like, am I wrong in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, none of us are any of those people, but I think from general hearing and understanding is it's something they've always felt for as long as they can remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can say that, you shouldn't raise a boy as a girl, but I don't think you should force that on them. I think you should let them.
Yeah.
I think
right.
I think my
But
bottom
a 3-year-old
line
saying that they want to be a girl or a guy when they're a girl is not making a
if
decision.
I'm being honest, it has no value. In my opinion,
no, not at all.
No.
Because it's they don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I was gonna say is I think my bottom line with this situation is you just need to remain open and be willing to explore different ideas.
For sure.
Maybe they wear male costumes at parties, at Halloween parties or whatever. They get to pick out what they want, and if they pick out like a sailor's outfit when they're a girl, who cares?
Or if
That's
a boy wants to be Elsa for Halloween.
right. Or if they want to wear different pants, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can blur the lines a little bit for them, but you can't be doing serious
Would you
things.
send your son to school in a dress?
No.
If they wanted to, yeah.
Yeah, if they wanted to.
No, probably not.
No.
I think I'd have to.
I mean,
decide what year. I mean,
if it was
early
like
age, I
elementary
guess,
I
school,
imagine I'm not
or,
having
like-
children for a long time, so I would hope that, 10, 15 years down the road, there's more tolerance in the world, there's more acceptance in the world, so...
You would hope so.
I mean, like in elementary school and middle school, like, no. But if in high school, when they're starting to become more independent, I think
they
I'd
can
consider
make
it
that
more.
decision for themselves, and I just have to be there to support it.
No
Yeah,
less
and
than
I'd-
2 inches above the knee.
Now you
for
see,
either
I
gender.
think elementary school is the safer time to do it. Honestly, I really genuinely feel like kids would like not second glance as much in elementary school as they would in
High
like,
school's so judgmental.
Yeah,
Middle
High school,
school
middle
is
school.
worse.
That's
Middle
when-
school is the worst. Yeah.
middle school is when you'd really fucking get it,
Yeah.
dude.
I don't know. And I mean, maybe you're right because shielding your kids from bullying. I mean, that's an understandable thing to do, but it could also
You
be
can't-
a mistake.
Well,
Yeah.
also,
you can't
It'd be
avoid it.
detrimental for them.
That's what I
all.
was gonna say. You can't avoid it.
No.
Everyone's gonna get bullied in high school or middle
Everyone
school,
gets it at some point or another.
Fuck
some
them kids.
form.
I used to have my lunch stolen out of my locker, so...
Oh, no.
Everyone gets it, it's fine. I grew up fine.
Uh-huh.
I listened to I don't know if any of you guys actually listened to like the full interview.
I listened to the 3-minute clip that I sent to
I
the
listened
group
to
chat,
Okay,
but I was at work.
I watched the 40-minute video
Jesus.
with
Person.
Candace Owens and Mario Lopez, and I actually I didn't agree with all the stuff that they said, but there were a lot of things that I did find interesting and that I did agree with, and I gotta say I really like I don't think I've really ever seen Mario Lopez in anything, but I think as a person he's a really cool guy from that interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He has a
seems
very
very-
soft voice.
He seems very open and understanding to all opinions, and I think that's something that's important and lacking in today's society.
yeah, I mean, I will
course.
say, listening to the interview, like, the headlines and everything framed it like he was saying something super malicious.
Some out of
but
pocket
yeah,
bullshit.
it definitely
that
seemed
didn't
like
make
it
any
was more
sense.
like genuine concern for children.
I thought it was a very
than
calculated
anything.
response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thought-
of course.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was very hesitant to even say it, but I think he really took everything into account for his decision making, which is, I mean, I can respect anybody. I mean, I have a rule, with politics. As long as you're doing your research, I will take everything into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
I have a lot of very on the right friends, that I keep in contact with and have very constructive conversations with.
I don't fuck with him.
Part of the problem.
My parents are very white, so I
that's the
try to
problem. You
listen to
gotta
what
give
they-
them a chance, and you gotta make sure
I
that
give
they're
him
on
a
the same
chance,
level.
and they annoy the shit out of me, so stop talking to him.
Maybe you're a little too left for them. Oh well. You got a
Um,
little bit more in the middle. But as long as you're doing your research and you're calculated with your decision making, and
Yeah.
you wait
I
until
think-
the end to
Yeah,
make a decision,
and I think
I
that
can respect it.
Can
you
go
not
ahead.
I think you guys are fucking good.
Yeah, no, we're
Okay.
fine.
Being
You guys need a room. You guys need a...
6 years old is what he's
Oh my
being.
god, I'm tripping.
You just kicked the
Um,
mic. Good job.
Me too. I didn't kick the mic, I kicked the table.
So I feel like they framed it the way they did in like the headlines and stuff because it was the Candace Owens show, and Candace Owens is a known conservative speaker.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it was
That's why I never heard of her.
Yeah, right, I was wondering.
I
Who
was
is
like,
this
"Who
chick?
Candace
yeah,
Owens?"
if it was like
That's why.
a liberal show, and if it was talking about something else that could be taken out of context and sound controversial to conservatives, I feel like it would have been put in a different light.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I get that.
I see that, but also I'd feel like it wouldn't be because it's not so much a left-right situation or a conversation. It's more of a personality and preference.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I
Socially.
think any, most news media places are going to see that and eat that shit up and be like, we're going to get so many fucking clicks off of Mario Lopez's stupid ass.
Yeah.
People are gonna
Like-
create a hashtag on Twitter and make it go viral.
Oh,
Cancel
yeah, that-
Mario.
That's what they fucking did, dude. That's why we're
Yeah.
talking about it right now.
Was there a cancel Mario Lopez?
Mario Lopez was trending, but
Okay.
there was a Twitter moment people want Mario Lopez canceled.
That's
because
so.
No.
That's
Cancel
the
culture's so
the
stupid.
really-
that's the downside to social media. It's because it's just an echo chamber.
Yeah.
You hear what you want to hear,
So-
and
I take everything I read.
it's people not reading articles and not watching the
Yeah.
video, and then jumping to conclusions because of these misleading
Yeah.
headlines.
I take everything I read with a grain of salt. Like, I don't I don't always
Yeah,
do my
there's always
research,
there's always another side of the story.
but I never believe immediately what I read.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't always do my research, but I don't believe everything either. So I mean,
yeah,
kind of take a weird.
Cool.
Yeah.
And good.
Cool and good. That is a.
The only
Nice
thing I have to
place.
say is that if you are gonna do your research, vaccinate your fucking kids. That's
Nice.
all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Do you guys watch the YouTube channel Jubilee?
No. Never
So
heard of it.
they did like they have a show called Middle Ground where like they bring in like 3 people from one side of an opinion and then 3 people from another side and have them sit down and talk and give them different like prompts and stuff.
Okay.
And they had like pro-vaxxers and anti-vaxxers come in,
Oh,
and
no.
there was this one doctor that
Sounds
was
like a good way
talking-
to spread polio.
There was this one, yeah. Well, they were all vaccinated.
Oh, of
Jesus.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the moms that have outlived the children.
Right, exactly.
Yikes.
I
But
got
there was
my
this
polio
one- there
vaccine,
was
but
one-
you don't need yours. You
There
dumb
was
bitch.
this one pro-vax doctor that was explaining to this one goddamn Karen
Karen.
about how, vaccines save lives. We had people dying, and now they're not. That's pretty clear evidence. And
Cause. Effect.
exactly. And then this woman was just like, no, you're wrong. This doctor versus a person that did their research on Google.
Facebook fucking keyboard.
Who did their, a doctor who did,
Years
thousands
of
and thousands
school.
of hours of schooling and studying and read hundreds and thousands of pages of medical research, and then Karen who did 5 minutes of a Google search
Facebook
Alright.
search, really.
or Facebook, either way.
yeah.
Facebook more.
All right.
Vaccinate your kids.
That's a good place to close. Don't forget to vaccinate your kids. Always remember, fuck Donald Trump.
Vote.
Don't actually fuck Donald Trump. Please don't do that.
No.
Be a very bad-
Melania, are you okay?
Good luck.
Unless you're Stormy Williams or Stormy Daniels. Yeah.
Stormy Daniels, you're a hero. Thank you.
All right.
Took
Wait,
one for
what?
the team.
He's still got
Thanks
away
for
with it.
listening.
Oh, by the way,
Oh my god.
we also have a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, don't forget about the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us.
We may or may not have some cool stuff on the way. And I'm currently...
Ah.
Don't go check it right now, because I'm currently still uploading everything, so not all the episodes are up there yet. But I'm putting everything in a cool playlist.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then you can go listen to everything. And yeah. So go like and subscribe.
Hell
And turn
yeah.
that bell.
Yeah,
click that bell
hit your
so you get that
little bell.
notification.
Yeah.
Get that.
Or
And follow
or
us
don't.
on Twitter.
Or don't.
Yeah.
No, hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Or don't.
the bell.
It's
Hit the
fine.
bell.
Get the notification.
Save
get
the
bell.
earth.
All right.
And then hit the bell.
Vaccinate your crotch goblins.
Thank you for listening.
Save the earth.
Good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh my god, I gotta piss so bad.
There's so
Keep
much
that
water,
in
so much problem.